18. I'm your host, Dustin Katz. With me, as always, the pillar of knowledge, local pro, and our very own CEO, Coach Michael Price. What's going on, Coach?
Glad to be back, sir.
Me too, man. It feels like it's been a minute, but we've been busy.
Yes.
And we've got a lot of exciting news and chatting points and everything else. So I'm going to be talking about you again in a second, young man. But first, we're all very, very proud. If you're friends of the Alley or been around anything, you probably already know what I'm talking about with the third member of our team that we're about to bring on right now. So our very own Mr. Curtis Rideout. Let me bring on the general manager, that is. What's up, GMC? See, I did that for you, Mike.
Yeah.
Mike really likes the GMC.
Yes.
But Curtis, we, on a serious note, very much want to congratulate you on your well-deserved promotion to general manager of AMF Penn Palace. So, yeah.
It's still hasn't fully sunk in yet. I came in today and they'd officially changed all of my stuff in our system to GM, and I looked, I was like, ha, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
So, that's what I was kind of wanting to ask is, like, does it feel any different? Because you've been an operations manager here forever.
Yeah.
And so you've been kind of running the place, daily operations anyway. Does it feel any different now that you are GM?
Yes and no. Yes. No, in the sense of course, for the most part, I'm doing the job I normally did. Yes, and I'm doing a lot more paperwork, but mostly it's the safety net's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Training wheels are off.
Yeah.
That's where.
Time to grip and rip.
Yeah, pretty much.
So on that note, then I guess my last question for you, then we'll leave you alone with this. But on that note, is there anything now that you are in charge, that it's your show, that you're chomping at the bit to do, that you think may be a good idea for the Alley or whatever maybe? What are you looking at doing now that you're the GMC?
First order of business is to make sure the lanes run efficiently, because we're a bowling alley, and if the core of your business does not work, you do not have a business. So that is priority number one.
Which makes sense. I like your priorities. I think everybody else does too. So, well, again, Curtis, I'm very proud of you. I won't say that I was the one hater against him, but as Mike likes to say it, I'm the pessimist of the group. So, but I'll take that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't take that as a negative. What's up, Britt? How we doing?
Hi, Brett.
But I'm very glad you got it and that it's over and it worked out. And it's already even, like, no joke. It's just.
I'm a lot more at ease.
Yes.
Because now I know that bowlers will not be coming to me to complain.
But it does. It just has a general. What did you say earlier this week when I stopped by? It felt calmer. It did.
Calmer.
I felt that.
Calmer.
I felt that before I even walked in, and then you said it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that does make sense." I concur.
Even with multiple lanes down, I didn't feel as apprehensive as I have in the past.
I will say this though, I do want to thank everyone, because there was so much support through the whole process of people that were rooting for me, and I want to thank you guys for that. That really meant a lot. I didn't know that many people cared, so that was very special to me. Thank you guys.
Curtis, that's because they see you, and that's because they see you care. See you first, see you care second. That's what I was going with that.
Yes. So we're excited. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of good things coming for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
And more mentions. Coach,
Sir?
you went and tossed in state lately, didn't you?
I did a few weeks ago.
And your team,
Mm-hmm.
what did you guys come away as? What's the W word?
Winners.
Nailed it.
In the scratch division.
You guys won scratch division in state.
Yes. And by a landslide, too. It was like over 200 pins.
I didn't even know that part
I
yet.
didn't know that either.
Yeah.
It was like we went 2709 as a team. And that was with my good buddy Kyle Harris riding bitch at 575. I want to give a shout out to Kyle.
Yeah, but quick shout out for you for slow rolling us like that, because he was playing so humble this whole
I
time.
know, right?
He's like, yeah, but we didn't know it's the
No,
team. I
He
did
was saving
okay.
it for the show.
And then, yeah,
Listen, here's the thing about that, y'all. I had a discussion with a mentor of mine for a long time, Rick Leon, and he was the one 20 years ago. He was the staffer. He was the pro shop guru. We looked up to him, And I was the 20, 25-year-old kid.
She can't hear you.
Oh,
Speaking in the mic more.
hello. But anyway, I was the 20, 25-year-old kid, and I was the one that was super excited about, I wanted to be a staffer. And Rick always looked at me, he goes, "You don't know what you're getting yourself into, kid." And I recently had a conversation with him about all that. And there was a really big high winning the team state scratch event, because first and foremost, that was my first ever state title of any kind.
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal. I do take a lot of pride in that. Now, if y'all have saw me bowl on Saturday, it was the opposite end. Another thing I want to do is I want to give a big shout out to Bolero Tuscaloosa and Shindig Entertainment Center. Both of those bowling centers are absolutely beautiful in Tuscaloosa. Well ran, well done, and just really accommodating to the bowlers. And like I said, just didn't really find my footing in singles and doubles. But I will also have to give a special shout out to Kyle once again, because he did convert the 7-10 split at Bolero.
Certificate to prove it too.
And it was funny because we were already. My first game of the day was 158.
Oh.
And I come back to, my mom was with me too. She came along for the trip. And she goes, "How you doing?" I went, I was like, "You don't want to know." And of course, my mom was always looking at me going, "You never do good at these things." And I was like, "You're not wrong." And which is another reason why I don't usually do a lot of tournaments, because I just, again, you got to have that sense of confidence. But again, with a team, you want to do your best, and you want to fall back, and you have your teammates to fall back on to help you. Max Dugan, our lefty, second game of the team event that we won, he went front nine. He was going after 300. And then the guy came down there and started recording him in the tent, and then it was just from there. So it's one of those little bad jujus.
We have a talking point similar to that in a little bit later on the show.
Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Foreshadowing.
Yep. And but I pulled out. I was third high on the team. Like I said, Jonathan and Max, they were the breadwinners. I shot my 687, and when we saw it, like Max was actually the first one to go, "Hey, man, we're leading scratch." I was like, "Okay, great." But we ended up third in handicap, which that's another big deal. Again, it's just one of those things. State event, state title under my resume. I'll take it. And again, this is coming from I wasn't really scheduling to go to this tournament. I kind of got coerced.
I'm glad you did.
I mean that lightly, of course, but I'm glad I did too. So won the state, steam scratch, big honor. I'm really appreciative of it. And also, I'm really proud. Like I said, again, I gave him crap earlier, but at the same time, Kyle did not lose his composure. He kept trying. The thing about it was Kyle, his footing was his issue. He was having a hard time. Like, he would slide too much once, then he would stick on the next, and then he even went and got a S12 sole, which is called black ice because, it's very slick, and even that wasn't working enough for him.
But did he pull out a house ball?
No.
Okay. He didn't pull out a house ball.
You have to understand, before Kyle and I purposely told Kyle before we started bowling together, I said, "If you ever use a house ball while on my team, I will Goldberg spear you."
I want to see that.
I know, right?
No, you don't, because then we're both going to be hurt.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Josh Kirby said, "Thank you, Michael, for the good words. We really try to run things smoothly here in Tuscaloosa."
Nice.
So we just thought we'd share that.
No, thank you. No, like I said, everything was absolutely fantastic. Just awesome on every level. Really do appreciate it. And it's another thing about it too that I really want to start encouraging people. If again, participate in your local city tournaments, participate in your local state tournaments, because again, like they do, where the winner of the scratch all events actually gets a invite to the actual USBC Masters event. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I guess they can correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe they do offer that for all 50 states to the all event scratch tournament winner.
And that's you guys from Bama?
No, not the team. I'm
Okay,
talking about individually.
okay.
That's like the all events.
Just want to clarify.
All events is basically what you shot your series in singles, doubles, and your first
Okay.
team event all combined.
You got a trifecta, and
Yes.
then you'll.
Yeah.
Yes. Like I said, scratch team state. We won it. I'm very I even went out to Madison this past Monday night, and Tony was out there bowling in the high
Yeah,
low.
TC 300.
Yep, TC 300, and he was one of the first to. Larry Swanson came up and spoke to me, and then we got to talking about state. And Tony goes, "Hey, that's the state scratch champion team right there." And I was big honor coming from Tony. Of course, anything Tony says about me, like I said, I'm very humble about that because Tony is one of my mentors, as you all know.
Yes.
So.
TC 300. Shout out to you, homie.
So yeah, Max Dugan, Jonathan Bertram, Kyle Harris, and myself. Yes, just really glad to bowl with the guys.
We're proud of all of you.
Thank you.
Very easy to say that, and definitely meant from the heart because that's awesome. I didn't realize it at first when you remember when he told us it was just like so just kind of like thrown out there like, oh yeah, we won scratch and state. He's like, what?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Don't bury the lead like that.
But good job. We're proud of you.
There's
I know.
No, there's a reason behind it, and I think it's worth mentioning. It's, considering when I was younger, I wasn't as humble, and I didn't have a lot of accolades under me when I was that age, and I thought I did,
Yeah.
and I got humbled by a lot of people here, a lot of mentors. So it's different now.
It's easier to stay humble than get humbled.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned that myself.
Mhm.
So yeah, no, I feel you. I just like to,
Yeah.
I got to mess with it.
Oh,
If I win a state tournament or even bowl a 300, I'm not being humble. I'm running circles around the bowling alley. I'm going to smash some glass somewhere.
It's one of those memes or gifts where it's like, I may not tell anybody when I won state, but they'll be signs.
they'll be well, our good buddy Lawyer, who I'm bowling with on Monday night, again, red ball. If you guys know the TikTok I posted with the whole story behind him getting the primal rage, man, I'm gonna tell you, 2 weeks ago, I was so pulling for him. He went front nine with it. And I looked at our other teammate Ben. I was like, I really hope this is it. Like, this is just gonna be like comeuppance of everything.
You're playing with me, Lawyer.
He's
Playing with me.
He's playing with all of us. But I'm just, like I said, it's going to happen, y'all. Lawyer is going to roll 300 with that ball, and it's going to be his first sanctioned 300 in league. And that's all there is to it.
You heard it. Period. Bottom line.
PERIOD, period.
You heard it. To throw out our last kind of, not to just skip over that or move past, but you may have heard some noise from behind the cameras today, and you notice that Curtis is in front. So who might that be, you ask? Well, you want me to continue, or do you want to do the honor and make the
You
statement?
do it.
Okay. We are very excited and proud to have a fourth member to DGAB. We are now a full foundation with pillars on all four corners. So I'm very excited to have you with us.
Thank you, guys.
I know I think I can speak
So
for all
I'm
of us,
also
though.
moderating behind the scenes and on the chat. So, hi.
And looking damn good
Yes.
in your DGAB jersey.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank
You like
guys.
that? Damn good.
I
On
appreciate it.
purpose.
And excited about this venture. And thank you guys for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you for being willing to join with us.
Thanks.
Yes.
Also, for those who didn't catch it, that's Tanya.
Who is our, yes, that's Tanya. You've seen her before. If you've seen any of our stuff, if you're brand new to DGAB, well, welcome in. We're thrilled to have you. But she did a lot of stuff for us, especially the Derrick Tate tournament, which we're obviously going to talk about.
I also want to say, give her a follow on TikTok. Tanya on tap.
There we go.
Thank you.
Pours right out of you.
Brian said congratulations.
Thank
yeah.
What is that? Pickles? Yeah.
Pickles, what's up, buddy?
You know, have you seen what he kind of urged people to challenge to do? And Kyle put a video up of Taylor putting a pickle in a beer,
Yeah, I saw it.
drinking it.
Yeah, I saw him doing that here. That's not a challenge to me. That's daily life stuff.
I can do
That's
that.
fine.
I don't
you're
like
not
beer and I don't like pickles.
I love pickles.
Pickles is going to think you're cussing at him.
No, I would be down. I just had a jar. I munched a jar of my famous Dave's pickles the other night, the sweet heat ones. I was like, I'll just have half the jar. No, that thing was gone before I realized it. I love those things, man.
Sorry,
I'm with
Dan.
the pick. No, they were on Joel's one night talking about 100 pickles or something like that.
Mhm.
How many you could eat? I'm down, dude. I told Pickles, I don't know if he saw it in that chat, but I'd ride with him through 50 at least.
If you're
50 at least.
Full pickles.
I know when we do our pregame plan here, you know, I didn't really mention this, but I would like to make a mention because he is our boy.
Absolutely.
For
dude.
but for those of y'all that may not know, I believe, and Pickles can confirm us in the chat, him and I believe 3 other people, Britt being one of them, Cobra being another, and Steven are going to be doing their own podcast starting next week called The Learning Curve. So we definitely, and again, one thing that was really great about, and I know we're going to dive into the Derrick Tate Memorial Tournament, but I've said it on many lives, it was an absolute honor for Pickles and Steve and the bowling nerd Richie to come up or to come down from, again, as far as Missouri, Fort Lauderdale, and Nashville. Absolute pleasure meeting those guys. I know Dustin and I, we went to dinner with them that Saturday.
It was awesome.
Really good talk, really good like synergy, really good talking about, just talking about content and talking about shows and talking about where we're all experts in and just giving our feedback. And it's absolutely amazing linking up. And again, cannot say thank you enough to those guys for coming to bowl in the Derrick Tate Memorial.
Definitely agreed and well said. I'm glad. Yes.
Just want to give a shout out. So.
Couldn't agree more. It was awesome getting to meet all of you guys, and I'm looking forward to. I feel like it's just the beginning. I know said it to Pickles, but I mean, I'm pretty sure it's just the beginning of the relationships that we're starting with the different bowlers. So, yeah. To close out with Tanya, she is our executive liaison.
Ooh,
That's the fancy title we've developed.
Yeah, you weren't in here for the pregame meeting.
Yeah.
Executive liaison.
So, but no, we're very excited and honored to have you aboard with us. I feel like it's going to help bring us up to where we want to be, more where we're striving to be. So, yeah, I think everybody's excited, and it's going to be awesome.
And I'm also going to add on to that, all those promo videos you saw, those were specifically done by Tanya herself. And as Pickles would say, absolutely crushing it, Tanya.
Thank you guys.
Crushing it like relish.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Red pepper.
That'll work too. Ooh, what about some red pepper in pickles?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Now we're getting Bloody Mary zones.
Mm.
Throw us in the chat if you need beer and pickles. Let us know.
Well, it's funny you said that because we have Joe Sledge come in and said, yep, to the pickles and beer,
Mhm.
but beer and peanuts is for him. So that's very old school.
Okay.
Heard that before. And Coca-Cola and peanuts.
and
Yeah.
Coke,
Mhm.
yeah, that's so old school.
What up, Joe?
And then Pickles. I keep saying Brian. This throws me off on here. Absolutely great experience with you all. It was his pleasure being here. And Francis has been sending gifts. Kojak has been sending gifts. And Maya said, I need beer and pickles.
Thank you for letting us know that. And by the way, I meant to say this when you're over here. She is monitoring both chats. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, want to talk some smack, have a question, whatever, let her know in the chat and she will be relaying it to us for shizzle. So.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget to go check us out on the live on YouTube too if your TikTok is not working, and vice versa.
Yep. And Melissa and Barbara on YouTube said hi, and they're kicking it on the back porch while we're watching.
Nice.
Oh.
Heck yeah.
So that's Mama.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's Mama.
Nice.
Everybody calls my mom. That's thanks to Lawyer too. He's like, that's Mama. I don't care.
Yeah. That's awesome. Glad to have you guys in with us. And so I think speaking of that, we are moving to
Before
yes.
again,
Mhm.
I know I'm throwing a lot of.
Go ahead.
surprise- You said Barbara's in here.
Well, and Melissa, she said her and Barbara. So Melissa commented.
Okay, so we agreed to this the other night. We got it here,
Mhm.
I believe. Barbara, if you're listening, we got one more surprise for you. Okay, you want me to do it?
If you would like to, it's
I
my
would love to.
I feel like I'm hearing my own voice on an answering machine. I hope you like it.
So Barbara, this was originally, Dustin did this for me, and considering the color scheme and everything, he felt that it encompassed
Yes.
Derrick. So we are going to gift this to you, Barbara. So if you're listening, we're going to get with you soon, and we're going to gift this to you, okay? And we hope you like it.
This is very funny. I don't know if I could say this without crying, actually. I meant to tell you this one time, just you and I talking. When I did that painting, it was the night before the tournament. It was the last one that I was getting to. And I meant to tell you, man, it was, if I start crying, I'm not joking. Or when you guys do. That was so much fun to do. And I hope this comes across right because it's meant, I mean, it was just so enjoyable. I love your Derrick voice that you do. You know what I mean? I just love that to begin with. And I'd gotten started on that painting and then just working into it. I just kind of, it started with hearing kind of your Derrick voice, but then as I went along, I'm not a good painter. You question yourself when you're doing things, right? And it's like, oh shit, papa. But I just kind of started channeling. I felt like Derrick kind of showed up with me in there. And it was like, "Oh, kid, just paint it there," you know. I'm not kidding. I hope that makes sense.
That makes
and I
perfect
had
sense.
so much. It was. I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about it.
Mhm.
It was very cool,
Yeah.
and so that was enjoyable for me. The other ones I did were, I mean, I enjoy doing them. They're abstracts and stuff, but that was the last one to do, and the tournament's tomorrow. You know what I mean? It's kind of coming to a head, and just it was an enjoyable time. I really enjoyed it. I'll
Yeah,
just leave it
because
at
it
that.
was just colorful and it encompassed him, and it was just again like I felt like I said that's why I asked y'all when we talked about it. I felt like it was something I wanted to do, and you guys obviously we unanimously were like yes, absolutely, and so but no, good.
I very much enjoyed
Yes.
doing that.
But
They're
speaking,
beautiful.
Thank you.
yes,
Yes.
see,
Yes.
See, that's another thing I'm gonna tell you. Like, y'all got to understand something, okay? Like, again, I tell these two all the time. They do hell of a job. Tanya does a hell of a job of the videos and everything, what she's bringing to the table. And again, y'all, a team is a team, and I am learning more about embracing the team concept for as long as I've been a loner. And it's really tough, but I am getting to that point where I am embracing it, and we talk things out, and it's what it is, and everything comes good of it is all I'm wanting to say about that.
I agree. Well said, brother.
Mm.
And we can only be better. We are bigger than the sum of our four parts. I think I said that correctly. You guys know what I mean,
I
right?
think so. Yes.
Okay. No idea.
That was easy.
It was easy. Yeah. So like, never mind.
So Michael has a button. Michael, can you raise your button?
Yeah.
Just tell us about it real quick.
So I was working in the warehouse yesterday. I needed some supplies for the shop, and Diana went and got the supplies, and they gave this to her as like a rebate gift. And she goes, "Do you want this?" I said, "Yes, I do." And
That was easy.
so
Thank you, Diane.
we
from all
are-
of us.
you're either gonna be thanking her or you're gonna be cussing her out because of how much I use this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's a good thing that doesn't charge per push.
Barbara
No.
did say hello, Michael.
Hi.
Nice.
Did she see that?
Yeah, Melissa wrote it, said,
Okay.
Barbara said hi.
Yes.
And Curtis, Kojak is saying he come to see you.
It's Jonathan.
Is that a threat?
I
It's Jonathan.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's old John Boy.
Yeah.
I think that's a good leeway into
It's
our
perfectly way into that.
Yeah.
It's perfectly way into that. And then we also have the Derrick Tate Memorial bracket board over there, which
Yep.
is very awesome too.
Mhm.
So that's what we're moving into now, because as most of you know, we just finished the first annual Derrick Tate Memorial Tournament, which was our WrestleMania. About 5 or 6 months of planning until we started talking about it, I think last year before the year changed.
Well, 4 months. Like the idea was there
Yep.
after all of the, but in January it was like, yeah, we're gonna do this.
Yep.
Because I think January 13th is when I actually put out the first flyer saying, hey, we're gonna do this.
And we did. And y'all helped. It was a fantastic turnout overall. I mean, it was 53 bowlers for the tournament itself.
Yes.
We actually have some great little stats from that. So the first one, we got 4 events over the weekend, over Derrick Tate weekend. Those 4 events, we had 94 total entries, and we raised pretty well over $2,000 for a couple of really great causes that you guys really came out and showed up for. 13 hours, almost 13 hours of live commentary and footage from that weekend.
Mhm.
And that was a lot of fun.
How's your
You
voice?
and on another note, you and Logan absolutely crushed it for real.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mhm. You're teaching that kid well. You're teaching him well.
He's not shy. I love it.
No, he took over almost like halfway through, like right after the qualifier. Steve, one of the new dudes that I met looking at your deal, and JB, I saw them. And I was like, hey, Logan, you want to catch a couple interviews real quick to practice? He was right there on it. Because I knew they'd be cool with it. And of course they were, like, dude, it was awesome. And kind of from that point on, he really took point. He asked if we're going to interview the winners. I was like, yep. So we prepped for that. And so, yeah, it was awesome. And I appreciate the fact that we were doing good.
Mhm.
I do thank you. But from our side or my side, that's so much fun to do. It's work and you have to keep up, but it's so much fun to watch you guys do something that you're really good at. So, I mean, covering that action was awesome.
And I also got to give a special shout out to Richie for doing some commentary with you during the time match. That was a lot of fun because
was hilarious.
It was kind of like it reminded me of JR and the King.
Oh,
and
good
Richie
Lord.
was
Yes.
the King, and he was just giving Dillard the absolute business.
He was giving him the business, and I had no idea. So, because you and I got out to dinner with him, I think the day before,
Mhm.
and that's the first time I met Richie. Very chill dude,
Mhm.
just like chill vibe type guy. And that's kind of, you can tell he's very smart, very intelligent, those types of things. I mean, he had binary code on his shirt that he made on the back, which I loved.
Mhm.
But as soon as I handed him this mic, this is at the end of the tournament, and I was just like, hey, you want to commentary with us? Yes, okay, I'd like that. And I gave him the mic. And as soon as I handed him the mic, he's like, so Derrick here, Mark here, this old cock knocker, he's been throwing on this old bastard, he's dusty. I was like, oh my gosh. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah. Well,
Like, where did that come from?
Especially when Mark went back-to-back high flush on
Oh, my
35.
gosh.
He made some, I don't know how he said it, but I was back there and all of a sudden I'm sitting there watching it, trying to be the director, and he says, I'm like,
I loved it. But I mean, they were from the same house.
yeah.
So, you know what I mean? It'd be like two of our people here going at it, which of course we know, but I was not expecting that.
If I was ever in a final of any kind of tournament and we were doing coverage and you were doing commentary, get Kyle on it, because I know Kyle will have some damning things to say about me.
Yes. It would be like doing, but it was hilarious. It was awesome. And I was actually, we'll kind of work backwards. We hadn't talked about the ending of it so much, but since you brought that part up,
Mhm.
that was kind of interesting too, because it was such a long weekend and then a long day of the tournament. And I don't mean this in a negative way. It was actually a really cool end. I don't want to say it was like an anticlimactic ending,
Mhm.
but it was pretty chill. It seemed like, because you go through all this stuff, and then by the time we got done to it, we were on the big end. I think, like, was it 35,
35,
36?
36, yeah.
All the way to the end. And at that point, kind of everybody was gone. I mean, I wouldn't want to stick around if I just lost too, you know what I mean? So most people took off. So it's kind of that core group. Richie, being his boy from Nashville, was there also, and just kind of a few of us. And you had it set at 2 games.
Mhm.
And so I think they had basically decided to. They were like,
They decided to take the total amount between first and second. And I was like, I don't care what y'all do. I'm handing you first envelope, second envelope. Y'all can split your money however you want. And they were like, we're just going to bowl 1 game, which I will add on to that. Next year, the bracket matches will only be 1-game matches. So that will be 1 less game. It was a very long format, but the reason why I did that, y'all, is because Derrick bowled 8 days a week. I've said that a ton,
yeah.
but I'm not making it up, y'all. He would come in every night of the week. He would put his name in 12 times, and he would bowl 12 games on 2 lanes, and he would not stop till that last frame was done. So it was my ode to, hey man, this is for you. And another fun fact too is Kyle Harris got here at 6:45 that morning.
I don't know why.
I'm going to tell you why. I've shared this story plenty of times, but it's always worth sharing again because it's just a really good core memory. So I, back in the day at Parkway, was doing a contest. It was called bingo. I would literally, once a day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'd call a letter and a number, just like you would playing bingo. And Friday came, made the announcement, posted on Facebook. Here's a letter number for the day, for the letter number that day. So at the time, I would work half my day here where we're at now, and then the final half of the day, I would go to Parkway, and I would work the shop 3.5 hours, something like that, you know. And as soon as I walked in down the Parkway that day, lo and behold, on 13 and 14, there is Derrick Tate. And I'm like, what in the hell is he doing here? And I didn't even get my key into the slot to unlock the door. And he goes, I got bingo. I was like, okay. I was like, all right, Derrick, I got you, buddy. Hang on. And I got everything open, and of course, I took his card, and I went in there and I verified everything. Of course, he had indeed hit bingo. And just out of curiosity, I looked at him. I said, Derrick, I said, let me ask you something, man. I said, how long have you been here? He said, I took a half day at work. I've been here since 12. I didn't open the shop till 5, y'all.
Is that why Kyle was so early?
That's why Kyle was so early. Is as a little tribute to Derrick for
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I just got a text at 8 a.m. saying, the homeless people around here make weird noises at 6 in the morning. I'm like, why are you out there at 6 in the morning?
I love that.
But that is the reason, because in the same, and even Kyle said it to me, he says, if the shoe was on the other foot and it was me in the ground, I know Derrick would be there 5 hours before. I was like,
Yeah.
That's it. So, but yeah, I think it's also worth mentioning. I know we talked about like the ending and everything, but I really want to talk about the beginning. The sense of community, and I got really emotional about it. But watching like Tanya take the pictures of all of the bowlers, all 53, and us and everything, that was a really cool deal. A lot of I got told later it was like, a lot of people had their head down that normally you would think wouldn't be emotional, but it was a really emotional time. And the gifts that Lawyer and Kyle and Kyle's wife Taylor that they presented with to Rebecca and Barbara, and it was like it was a really good thing. But I was like, okay, like here's the second part, because we're trying to make it lighthearted. It was emotional. We were trying to make it lighthearted, and of course I'm looking, going, hey, y'all got the second gift for them? And Kyle looked at me with this like puzzled look, and I was like, I put the microphone.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And they went and they had 2 big old bottles of ketchup for D, and so they took one of those, and the boy loved ketchup. What can I say?
And to kick all that off too, do you want to give?
Yes, yeah, dude. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, Will Holden, absolutely amazing doing the national anthem. Hit hard. I mean, just awesome stuff. So we appreciate that as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for the reminder.
Absolutely.
But yeah, the national anthem was awesome. Giving Rebecca and Barbara essentially their flowers, and the fact that they bowled the tournament, and his Aunt Betty did.
Yeah. I don't mean it. Yeah.
No, yeah.
They did, and that Lawyer was with them in that pink shirt, so that was cool. I didn't necessarily know that, but I saw that from the beginning and was like, that was really cool because you could just see them, the sweeper, all their pink shirts on. So I loved that. Was so cool.
And it is also worth mentioning that we did a ceremonial first ball.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And Derrick's daughter Oakland, bless her heart, she just went up and pushed the ball, which radioactive vibe, and it was ball over Derrick. It did not go in the gutter.
That was a really surreal moment for
Yes.
me. Watching it happen, I was up there, and it's like, again, all these months of planning. When I was watching Oakland throw that ball, I was like, wow, this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
This is happening.
Yeah.
It was surreal.
While wiping tears out of my eye, this is happening.
Yeah, like she, some people thought she was being shy, but she had kind of fell and kind of bumped herself. That's why she was upset. And I just thought it's because, as kids doing the little, and I was like, come on, Oakland, let's do this. And she was like, okay. And then she just went up and pushed it, and Barb's like, there's no pins. And I was like, it don't matter. But it did not go in the gutter. So I know the little bro was there with her.
Yeah. It was very surreal. A lot of planning went into that, and then to actually see it happen, because we talked about those things all the time.
Yeah.
The Will doing the national anthem for us, and we'll do the gifts here, and then the ceremonial ball. But then, like you said, to see it, it's like, holy crap, this is.
And one more point of note, I have to mention that it almost got me. There's twice I almost lost it on the mic. I know everybody that was there, y'all saw me. I almost lost it twice. But before she went up there and pushed the ball, I was getting everything. I was behind the counter, getting ready to get the mic. And she come up. We all had our shirts on. We all had our Derrick Beaver shirts on. And she came up and she patted me and she goes, "That's my daddy." And I was like, "Oh, kid." So she was very aware.
Yeah.
Very. Don't let it fool you. Kids are self-aware. So,
but it seemed like she had a great time though, because she was still even there at the end. They were all presenting the stuff to Mark, you know what I mean? And she was very excited to tell everybody how close she was to 5.
she
was
also
so
was
cute.
like, she goes, "This is taking a really long time." I was like, "You're right, kiddo."
Yeah.
Oh, but yes, no, just really good day all around.
Good
4 months,
weekend.
4 months of planning. Everything fell into place. Again, I know we've had some issues, but that
Lanes.
whole entire, we're gonna say it.
I figured that's what you're talking about,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
did happen to work great.
But no, what I'm saying
Good
is
job.
the juju was positive that day, and everything.
I will
Everything.
say, that was not me. That was the
I know.
universe aligning for this month. Like, we're not going to have any
Yeah.
bullshit. Sorry.
No,
Like,
that's fine.
not today. That's
Yeah,
what these,
like not today. Not today, Satan. But no, I am completely happy with the result of it, the feedback we were given. That is probably the one tournament I've put on that I got told thank you the most. I know I've said dozens of times being a tournament director is a thankless job. And depending on how many times and how often you in your life you've ran tournaments, you probably feel the same way. But I felt very differently because a lot of people came up and they said, dude, this was killer. This was freaking awesome. We can't wait to do it again next year. So again, can't say thank you enough. And again, these three right here, along with everybody, again, what does they say in the A team?
Love it when a plan comes together.
Thank you.
That was my jam right
I
there.
knew you knew that because you're the movie buff reference.
And I just
too.
fell asleep last night again to the WWF biographies, and it was WrestleMania 1. So Mr. T was in that when he was white hot.
Pity the fool.
I do want to
Yeah.
give a particular shout out just to Tanya, because when we first conceptualized this, it was me who was supposed to be doing the
Yeah, that's right.
the raffle, all that stuff,
Yeah.
and we know some stuff shifted around. And I handed it off to you, Tanya, and you took it and ran with it, and I appreciate that so much.
You did a great job on the raffle.
Yes.
And no, for real. Because we knew what we were doing already. Like, we knew that it was going to be a raffle and a silent auction. But I know I've never worked one of those. So you kind of saved us and helped us out a lot. And it looked great.
It would
So-
not have been that good if I had done it myself, because I would not have put, you got boxes and all these things. It was,
Yes.
you went above and beyond
Fantastic.
for that. And thank you very much for that.
There's 3 words for that.
We tried.
There's 3 words for that, Tanya.
It's 3 syllables.
The feminine touch.
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm here, isn't it?
And 3 words for her taking ownership of it.
That was easy.
But was it?
She made it look easy.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You guys can't hear that, huh? I heard it in my head.
Oh, I heard it.
Yeah, I know y'all can hear it. I'm talking about those are listed. So just a quick comment check with our peoples over on YouTube. Chase Shoulders said that it was well put together, the tournament itself, and it was a smooth, very smooth operation.
Thanks, Chase.
He also stated that the passion and the weight of what the tournament meant came through y'all's actions, dedication to put forth y'all's best effort to help and remember the memory. And he was proud to be here. And
Thanks,
Chase,
man.
it was a pleasure having you here with us as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, shout out to Chase. 'Cause he was number 12. He was the final one to make the top 12. So
Which is almost expected. I know you can never expect to have people in it, but of course, we talked about it all the time when it's always in there. It's like, who do you think's gonna make it? And Chase is one of those guys that I kind of always have in my top
Yeah,
pick.
him and Kyle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle, I usually have for the winner, but Chase, to me, you're right in there. I'm waiting for you to win one of these, Chase.
Yeah, we said Kyle's going to win, and Mark said, hold my beer.
Oh my God. We'll get into that. Tanya, thank you for the check. Do you have any more of those? Because it's actually, this is your part, if you don't mind, talking about everybody that contributed to the tournament. We just wanted to give a quick shout out and rundown of all the other sponsors and anybody that provided anything for us. And Tanya had the list of that.
Absolutely. So as you know, since this was our first tournament, we have a lot of sponsors that were nice to give us things ahead of time. And then we also have some very last minute givers or sponsors. So we want to just do a really quick shout out and say thank you once again, because it made it so much more fun for everyone. And we want to make sure that we give you guys our thank you and appreciation. So just a quick sponsor shout out again for Ace Hardware, Purple Squirrel Productions, Anime Creations, Furniture Factory, Aaron Nichols over at River City Lanes, Mark Dillard for the Bowling World Certificates, A&T Automotive. So we, again, thank you so much, and hope to see you guys next year.
Yes, thank you very much, Tanya. And while you were telling us about that, it kind of made me think of something. Absolutely thank everybody that was involved with it and donated that she just read off. But anybody out there listening, if you know of if you want to donate next year or anything, or know of a company or small business, anything like that, that you think may want to donate to us for next year's second annual, please let us know. You can reach out now and we'll have a whole slew of stuff by the next tournament. So please reach out, and you reach out for anything, whether it's comments, concerns, bitches, you think something should be different, this or that. Because I mean, we listen and we want to evolve. I think we've said it from the beginning, and I feel like we've kind of done that from the beginning. So, George can attest to that with the token strike challenge.
I gotta give a shout out to old George Davis too.
Yes,
he
sir.
is our journeyman. He is an avid supporter of DGAB. Like, he practically does every sweeper I ever put on. He's done every end of season DGAB invitational. That's why I've dubbed him the journeyman.
Yep.
That's right. I agree with that. George has always been a great supporter of the DGAB.
Yes.
team.
And
He's
I'm
a brand.
Yeah.
yes, yeah, no, for real, he is a journeyman, and I'm so glad, George, that you won the remote control car. I know I've already told you that, but I had Logan for the last week with me, and he loves to run my RC. I've won exactly like that one. So I love those things. I have since I was a kid. So we'll just run it, and they're fast, you know.
Mhm.
And yeah, we were just talking about it the other day, George. I told Logan I'd ask you if you wanted to race him in the parking lot or something like that with RC cars. So I was very happy to see you in that, and we do. We love you and appreciate you, buddy.
You do.
Mhm.
And so actually speaking on, he just chimed in and voiced an opinion, and we talked about it and changed the token strike challenge. We'll talk about that. That went very well, I feel like.
Mhm.
We did it Friday for an hour before the Friday night sweeper, and then we did it for an hour-ish. I think both times an hour-ish in between the sweepers. And those was the second and third times we'd ever done it. And I think that it went really great. It had a lot of, not a huge turnout, but again, it was big enough, and it was kind of like last after the league. It was fun. You got those people in there tossing and competing and everything. And Georgie did let us know Friday night it should be 2 lanes, especially after our dear friend, Mr. Jeff Heath, showed up. So Friday, we had been doing it for a good 40 minutes. And Kyle had been leading for a long time with 6. So they were chasing 6. And I think that's what was the number that won in our first one we did. Did Chase win that
That
one?
was 5.
Chase, did you win
Yeah,
that?
Chase won it. I think it was 5.
Okay.
It was either 5 or 6.
5 or 6. I want to say it was 6. But Kyle was leading at 6 for like half an hour.
Mhm.
Jeff shows up, lays $1 down, throws, it was misses, and he swears that it's house shot. And I loved it because he's like, okay, you're not going to tell me the shot's different. All right. Makes his adjustment, lays down 11 in a row. Like I want.
That was easy.
For real. That's what he said. In about 4 minutes, I watched him throw almost a perfect game. It was awesome. And then, of course, that's when Georgie was like, can't be letting him get comfortable on the lanes, damn it. But no, I think that was not a good draw. I'll work on my Georgia.
I did mess with Jeff on that final
You
shot.
did. So that's what we were alluding to earlier with the foreshadowing.
Mhm.
And I was kind of surprised. I didn't know you had that much of a devious side. Because was it on his? Yeah, you go ahead and tell us.
I basically I was busy kind of getting ready, waiting on entries, what have you, and I finally went down there, and I think you or somebody was like, "He's on 9." Okay, and I said, "He gets to 11. I'm gonna mess with him on the 12th," and I did, and he went Greek church.
I'll be honest, I was a little surprised by that.
I want to make this clear. If you're in the middle of a tournament, I would never do that to you.
But if it's
This
token
was-
strike challenge,
This
it's
was
freaking
fun.
on.
The token strike challenge, yes.
Oh, we could develop this. So I don't want to tangent. If anybody knows what Kim's games are, that's where you keep in memory. So you have a whole bunch of items on the table, and you only get a certain amount of time to look at it,
Mhm.
and you got to write down. Is that familiar at all?
Mhm.
We did that stuff, all types of that type of stuff in the military, and you can add stress to those also. So you can do a stressed event
Mhm.
where we could certainly add some. We could crank it up. That'd be fun.
Mhm.
I don't know if that made sense at all. Did you follow what I was saying?
Mhm.
Okay.
Sure did, Cotton.
Let's see how that works out for him. So the token strike challenges went really well, and actually Mr. Heath won the next day too. In between, 11 took it Friday, and 10 was enough to take it Saturday. But Saturday was on 2 lanes.
Yes.
I did really like that. George threw the idea out. We chatted about it. You were able to get us another lane
Yep.
for that. So from henceforth, as long as we have the lanes for it,
Yes.
it'll be 2 lanes for the token strike challenge. And I think we're looking at doing it maybe once a month or so, because
Sunday nights.
the
every week.
DGAB Sunday night league actually starts again tomorrow night. So if you're in that league, be looking for that. We'll probably do that once a month or so, something like that. And we got lots of good stuff coming up for you. So that's my part on the token strike challenges. Thank you for everybody that threw in them. It's a lot of fun. And Tanya was actually awesome because she was chilling there with me. And it's fun. To me, I just equated it with kind of like back in the day arcade games. You stack your quarters up to play, or like a pool table. Your stacks of quarters signify you play next. And you just you threw $10 down. It's like, all right, there's 10 quarters in the machine. Who wants to play? Which I thought was really cool. So it was fun. I had a lot of fun doing that, and I'm glad that everybody participated and that people seem to like it. So I think we'll be doing that much more in the future.
And again, another thing too is some of the donation money went.
Yep.
We did raise a little bit of money for the causes that we
Yes.
spoke about.
Yeah, and that worked out pretty well. It seemed like
Mhm.
splitting it for that
Mhm.
was great. So
Yep.
I agree. Great chime in, Coach.
Thank you.
Best in the biz.
That's right.
And that's pretty much my piece on the tokens. You want to talk to us about the sweepers and the qualifier?
Yeah, we had three sweepers. Friday night was really good TV. If you were watching us on the live stream, it was the handicap sweeper. And what's funny about it is out of I think we had 11. We had 14. No, yeah, we had 14 the first night.
Was that? I thought we had at least 16. Was it 14?
That was Saturday.
I would believe 14, but
No.
I thought we had more than that.
No, 14 Friday night, 16 first squad Saturday, 11 second squad Saturday.
Was it only 11? It seemed like more than
The
that.
scratch was low, yes.
Okay.
But the Friday night one was very entertaining. The GSE, Randall Reed, came away with the victory by 1 pin.
It was awesome to watch and call.
And here's what made it even more compelling, if you will. He threw a strike in the first 10th frame, and then he bust out a 9 pin. And he didn't want to throw a spare ball, but his reactive ball was in the back for 10 minutes.
Yep.
And so it was like icing the kicker. And
Yeah.
I never forgot. I went down there. I never forget. He said, if I miss this, I'm going to be really mad. I didn't realize how close it was, obviously, until I did the scores. But I was like, oh. So the ball finally came back. He made his 9 pin. And Kyle goes, he beat me by 1. And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, my God, he did. So it was like 974 to 973. Randall Reed was our Friday night winner. The second day, the Saturday, we had the second handicap sweeper. And I kid you not, Kyle Harris came in with his money. He goes, I am winning this. And I was like, I'm not going to bet against you. You're not going to get money out of me today.
Was that the game where he had open first frame and he said he's throwing 279?
Yeah. Yeah, he missed a 10 pin or a single
In the
pin.
first
or something.
frame.
He comes back and he goes, mark it down. I'm throwing the next 11. And he did.
I didn't hear. You
279.
told me that later after he was already into the streak.
Mhm.
But even commentary, if you went back and checked, I probably said something similar
Mhm.
because I saw the open
Mhm.
and it'd be like, knowing Kyle Harris, he is not going to miss again this game.
I gotta give props to my teammate. I'm gonna tell you why. He and Pickles, they both bowled in every event.
I feel like we call that the Wade Boggs Award.
Well,
feel
I
like
can
that's-
tell you this. Look, let me put it to you in perspective. Okay, we'll use Kyle's perspective. Kyle bowled 4 games Friday, 8 games Saturday. He had 4 games of qualifying, so 8, 4, 12. That's 16 games. He had to bowl the first round, 2 games. Then the second round, he got knocked out by Jeff Johnson Jr. So he had 4 games. So he bowled another 8 games on Sunday. So 4, 8, and then another 8. It's 16 games under his belt the whole weekend.
I know
He was
Kyle's.
struggling. when
That's
he
what I was
left.
going to say. I know he's a prideful man, so I don't want to expose your weakness or anything like that. But you could tell
Mm.
that he was hurting very bad in those, especially the last couple games,
Mhm.
is when you could see it. I'm sure he was hurting in all the games,
Mhm.
but I could really see it the last couple. And to where I even said to him a couple times, is like, look, dude, there's a difference in hurt and injured. You know what I mean? But I had to say it. I knew it wasn't going to do a thing.
Mhm.
You know,
And we know why.
you would have had to. He would have had to have been dead to get him off the approach.
But the thing about it is, like Kyle was like, if this is it, I'm going out for my bro. So mad respect there.
Yes.
But again, big shout out to Pickles as well. Like I said, thank you for bowling every single event that I put on for the weekend. And I'm hoping, like I said, the Sunday was a success, but maybe or something, I can put some kind of quick ideas in my head. We can kind of up the sweeper ante too, really try to get people involved in that, because I did give away for the winners of the sweepers. They got 3 entries were paid for. And then the scratch sweeper, we had 11, and that is the bowling nerd Richie. Richie's was a funny story because
Yeah,
he was telling me, like, in the second or third game of the scratch sweeper, he's like, man, I got a tournament in Nashville tomorrow. And
Yeah.
he ends up winning it. And I said, hey man, you got a free entry. And he goes, and we got done, we left Baumhauer's at night. We were all sitting out there talking for a while. He goes, oh, I'm just going to find a hotel.
Yeah. He found a hotel while we were at Baumhauer's. Yeah.
Yeah, he found a hotel and he asked me, he goes, what about this one? I said, that's great. And he goes, I'm going to bowl it tomorrow. And I'm like, cool, man. And he even, like I said, he got a good run. He made the top 12, and he ended up losing to Kyle in the first round.
But with him, bowling nerd Richie, he's a great new friend. I know we talked about him earlier,
Yes.
But talk about new friends to DGAB
Mhm.
From the tournament itself.
Yes.
Both those guys are talking about, but Richie for sure, man.
Yeah.
So that was awesome.
I'm serious. And again, it just cannot be gone without saying this. Another thing that was cool about Saturday is Barbara made a special appearance.
Mhm.
And Pickles, I introduced, I said, Barbara, I said, you got to come meet Pickles. And she goes, okay. And I said, Barbara, I said, this is Brian Pick, also known as Pickles. I said, he came all the way up from Fort Lauderdale. And she was like, oh my God. She was like, I can't believe this. And I was like, and of course he gave her a hug and everything was great. It's just, again, good stuff from the weekend.
Yes.
So we was really excited to have her there for 2 days.
Speaking of great stuff, now this is a qualifier. I don't want to steal your thunder, but we do have to get moving
Mm-hmm.
with stuff because we still have a whole other conversation to talk about, and then upcoming events that we'll close out with.
Mm-hmm.
Another gentleman that joined us, Richie's buddy, Mr. Dillard, that he was tearing him a new one as soon as he got the mic.
Yep.
Mr. Mark Dillard, I will personally thank you as Dustin because I got to call your 2 games, but he threw 2 back-to-back 300s in qualifying.
Yep.
Basically right in front of us. So for me, I got chills again. Like it was so awesome, and he looked so chill doing it. It was awesome. Looked like zero effort, and you wouldn't have known if you saw him.
Yeah.
If you'd have walked off the approach or whatever, and you didn't see up there, you'd have no idea he was on however many.
So fun note of fact, because Mark actually said this to me after the tournament. He said, I went up to your boy Bertram and I said, are they Cliff this bad? And Bertram was like, yes. Yes. Okay, cool. Really noted. And then he proceeds to throw the next 24. And I even got, I was happy that Mark went back to back, but another bad thing about it is like, that's another thing I'm going to work on is try to get this tournament sanctioned because I would have felt so awful had Mark put another 12 together and shot 900 for 3 games because nobody has ever shot 900 in the state of Alabama.
I did not. We were just Nick, old Delgado, and I were just talking about this the other day.
Mhm.
I had never even heard of a 900 series until last year when we went to that Bob Learn Jr. seminar in Wesley. He announced Wesley is throwing in 900.
Yep.
I was like speechless.
That can
I'd
happen.
never heard of that before. Like,
It's happened
That's insane.
20, 25 plus times in the USBC history. First time going back to 1997. And for all the traditionalists out there, back in the early 80s, Mr. Glenn Allison they call him Mr. 900. And what made Mr. Glenn Allison's 900 more impressive is he did it on Saturday night, and it was on second shift where they did not re-oil back then. But they never sanctioned Glenn Allison's 900. But here's the bad part about that. They didn't sanction his 900, but the ball that he did it with, it's in the museum in Arlington.
seems appropriate.
So it's like, sanction his 900 USBC for the love of God already. Anyway, sorry. I don't
What if
know.
that's a standalone tournament? That's the name of the tournament.
Yeah, what?
Sanction is 900.
Sanction his 900.
Instead of petition, we'll start a tournament for it.
Because you know what Glenn Allison said after he shot that 900, right?
That was easy.
Somebody take it away.
I do love it as much as my face on the outside says I don't. I do.
I'm
That
sorry.
was such great timing, though.
Sorry.
I'm happy you got a new toy to play with.
With the new toy, yeah.
Yes.
But yes.
On
Mark going back to back, absolutely incredible.
and then what about after that? Though, was third.
No, his 4th game. So he goes 220, I think 222, 221, 222, back to back 300s. Top seed almost guaranteed, and he goes 169 to follow that up. He dropped to the 3 seed, but it didn't matter.
Could you imagine if it was a 3-game series though? 300, 300. You bowl 2 300s and you still don't get an 800.
Yep.
I had joked. I don't think to you. I think it was to Nick when we were talking about it. It's like that is that's something I would do if I had the ability of throwing perfect games.
Previous guest, Mr. Wes McElroy, 23 in a row, didn't shoot 800.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
will say this about Mark. Mark was a 3 seed. He defeated Andrew Delgado. Andrew Delgado had a really, really good
He
strong
did. That
run.
was great to watch. Andrew did really good.
And then he beat Jeff Johnson Jr. and then him and Josh Fralick. That's another.
Fralick ended up winning. Yes.
No, Mark.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
Fralick was against Mark
Yeah, in the
top.
final.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
But and even he said it himself. Josh actually surprised himself because he went from the 11 seed. He beat Jeff Heath. He beat the top seed, Tommy Sneed. He ended up beating James May. James May is another one that made a really, really deep run.
I saw his match with Sneed right in front of me because I had never seen Sneed bowl before. But he had like maybe one bad shot, and that's what led him. Yeah, that was great.
But Sneed was our top qualifier. He shot 904 scratch. So, and again, it being a handicap tournament, he did have handicap. I'm not saying it's detrimental. I'm not trying to make that seem negative. That's not the case. But he had a really good round of qualifying, and then he just kind of went cold in his match against Frelick. So, but again,
it was
awesome stuff.
It was awesome stuff. I was so honored to be able to watch and call it.
Josh did something after.
Yes. Oh, thank you for reminding me. So when Mark and Josh, again, they were really tired, 2-game matches. They decided to just make the title match 1 game, and they kind of just split the prize fund between first and second, however they did. But when we had Oakland present the championship plaque to Mark, and then Josh out of nowhere came up and he handed me his winnings, which was $450, and he said, "Put this in Oakland's college fund." He just gave his winnings right there, and I said, "Are you serious?" And he goes, "Yes, absolutely. I have 3 girls. I understand." And I looked at Barbara. I said, "Hey, he just donated his winnings to your granddaughter." And she was like, "Oh my God!" And it was emotional, and they, everybody gave him a hug, and it was just a really good act of awesome will. I know the word is goodwill, but that was awesome.
I second.
So thank you, Josh,
Yep.
and appreciate your awesome will. Well, if we're going to call stuff like ain't sanctioned and everything, then we're going to come up with awesome will.
Heck yeah.
So, but no, really good stuff. Great. Like I said, you said it earlier, over 2K in donations, which is absolutely phenomenal. I cannot say thank you enough.
Agreed. So I think that's a wrap for the most part on the tournament.
Yep.
For now, we got one more talking point and then the upcoming stuff. But
we will see you next
Man.
year for the 2nd annual.
yes, we are already talking about it, already things that we can improve and things that went well and this and that. So we're absolutely already looking forward to next year's. And again, I know that you said thanks for everything that we've done and all that stuff, but just me personally, like I'm just honored I got to be a part of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it didn't feel like effort and work and all that stuff. So thank you.
Yes.
Good night.
No, thank y'all.
Good job.
Thank y'all. It meant, like I said, this one meant the world to me.
Agreed.
I'm telling you, you have no idea. I miss my brother every day.
Yep. I've never felt like I've known somebody so much and only met them once and in different conditions when I did meet them, you know what I mean? So it's, yeah, the man is not going to be forgotten.
No.
I will definitely guarantee that.
That's another thing I told them too, is I said, "Hey, here's the link to his episode." And
Man.
I said, Oakland ever wants to hear her daddy's voice. It's right here.
Talk
And,
about surreal, dude.
yeah. And Barbara told me, she goes, we did a teddy bear, which every time she hugs it, it's his voice. And I was like, that's great.
Yeah.
But no, I miss you, D. I miss you.
You are missed and carried forward with pride. So, Tanya, are you ready with the talking point of the perspective? You'll read for us, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay. So, pull that up right now.
After she takes her eyes off.
Yeah.
That's my album, man. It's
So why don't you tell us a little bit about who?
yeah, good
I'll do
idea.
I'll do it. Yeah, I'll give a little intro. So recently I found a post online on Facebook about PWBA superstar Verity Crawley. She made a really long post in regards to her bowling in an event. And she got a comment from one of her fans. And Tanya's going to read the fan's comment verbatim, and then her response, and then to that comment, and then the main post that she posted. And then that's what we're gonna make this our final talking point, stuff to talk about of this podcast episode.
All right. So her top fan, his name was John, I want to say Uris Jr. He wrote, "Verity, I am a longtime fan and have interacted with you on this site several times in the past. I was there to watch both sets yesterday and said hello to you twice as you walked past me. The first time I got a quick glance back after you were past me, and the second time, I didn't even get a response or a look. I know how you usually interact with your fans, but I found yesterday to be very disappointing. Verity responded, "Sorry if you felt ignored. That was never my intention. When I am in the middle of a competition, I am completely focused on my performance, as it is part of my job and I to give 100% of what I'm doing on the lanes. Afterwards, I may have been busy sorting equipment or debriefing. I always appreciate the support, and I hope you can understand that my priority during the event is to stay locked in and do my best. Thanks for your understanding." Then she shared the post with the following. "I am sharing this post today because I think it's important. As bowlers, we're lucky to have such close connections with our fans. That support means so much. But with that closeness, sometimes the lines get blurry and boundaries aren't always well defined. I'll be honest, this is something I personally struggle with. At times, I may only get one brief interaction with you, and I absolutely want it to be a good one. I want to show gratitude because I genuinely appreciate everyone who supports bowling and what we do out there. But I am also a competitor. When I'm in the middle of a tournament, I'm not always in the best headspace for a chat or a photo. I might be trying to stay focused on managing frustration or mentally preparing for the next shot. Even afterwards, I may be dealing with equipment, processing the results, or simply needing a moment to decompress. It is never about ignoring anyone. It is about doing my job to the best that I can, protecting the mental space I need to perform. I hope you can understand that I hope that you still feel how much I value the support, and even if it doesn't always come with a smile."
Thank you. Yeah. So do you want to
How do you feel
Start.
about that, Mike?
I want to say this, okay? I felt compelled to bring this up in this episode tonight because it's something about it that spoke to me. Whereas Verity is explaining how she goes through her process, she is bowling in a tournament,
a professional?
a professional tournament. They're bowling for some money. Okay, I understand that bowling will never be on the level of golf. I understand this, but when it comes
I
to
know.
payouts,
I'm
but
just trying to hold my smart alecky self in
I
check.
understand that. But again, here's the thing, and I thank you for helping me get back on track because I could have went down that rabbit hole.
Me too. And
Um,
running out of time.
yeah, but I felt compelled to want to talk about this with everybody because at the end of the day, I work in the pro shop. I bowl my league one night a week. Okay, so I bowl league just like y'all, and I love every single one of y'all that come in here and you support me. You support DGAB. You support Bowling World that I work in, and everything else that entails what I do for my job and my career. I really do appreciate that. But there's another thing you got to understand on the other side of things, okay? If I'm not bowling good, I'm not feeling too compelled to want to talk about how your ball reaction was when mine was garbage. And two, I'm not on the clock. I value that. And I don't think we enough in society value other people's time.
Say that one more time, please.
The people in the back.
Yeah.
I don't think we as a society value other people's time.
Who are other people and what is that?
Yeah, everyone. Almost.
Let me see.
4 minutes. Oh, let me get that real quick. And I'll get back to it. I don't want it to cut us off behind.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wait a minute. Not there now.
I just reset it, so 4 minutes.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is that-
I thought I was going to have to make a
All right.
sound. Sorry about that.
You were ready for it though.
I
Good
was.
rehearsal.
Always
So
ready.
ready.
But it's just the thing, like when I read that and I read that person's comment towards Verity, and it was just, to me, it was like, bro, like you're there, enjoy the entertainment. Like you're there to be entertained by their bowling. And another thing about it is too, I think a lot of people understand, the PBA is doing the best it can to have TV deals which they just inked with
No more Fox. I saw that.
with No More Fox, but now I think they're doing something with CW, and they've also booked.
CW, are you serious?
I'm
Is
serious.
that still a thing?
This is still a thing.
Yeah.
But they also inked some
Ugh.
stuff with the CBS Sports Network too. But either way, the thing about it is if you're going to televise something, you got to have a network. And truth be told, other than the PWBA majors, which are also on CBS Sports Network,
Yeah.
these stops they don't have any television coverage other than bowltv.com. Most cases, and somebody can tell me if I'm wrong with that. That's what I see mostly. So unless you're paying membership for Bowl TV, you don't even know what's going on with the women unless you're following their social media pages.
I've literally seen one tournament just like 2 weeks ago on Fubo or whatever. I had coverage of one female event ever.
Exactly, and there's probably a major if I'm
Yes.
yeah. So it's like the U.S. Open or it's the Queens.
It was the Queens.
Yes. So again, there you go. But my point to all of this is, it's like, dude, like get it, like we're people too, and I'm not saying like I'm not a professional bowler. I'm not saying
No,
that.
I have the same
But-
perspective.
But it's like me working in the pro shop. Like we're people. Like we get burned out. And luckily, like after Derrick's tournament, I took 8 days. I was in here for 3 of them because guess what? I still care. I still am passionate about the game. The day you have to worry about me, any of these people surrounding me and everything to worry about me is when I don't want to run tournaments.
Yeah.
I don't want to run sweepers. I don't want to do the token strike challenge. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. That's when you worry. But the thing about it is, it's like Verity said, like mental. Why are we as a society so scared to talk about mental health? Is it something that some people don't believe in? Because I hate to tell you and break it to you all, but guess what? Mental health's a thing. And I'm a walking example of it. So yeah.
Yeah, we all are.
But it's just like one of those things. It's like at the end of the day, respect others. Understand that maybe they threw a bad shot. Maybe something bad happened. Has anybody ever taken into consideration that maybe they haven't had a good day? They haven't had the best day. Maybe they got some bad news and they're still trying to push through. Ever take that into consideration instead of like, what a rude POS. No. How about you're the one interfering with their day and maybe give them some damn space?
Damn.
Damn, I did.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you caught that, didn't you?
Yep.
So that's just that. I just felt compelled to want to give my take on that. And it's like Verity, and I'm telling you this right now. I've never met Verity in person, but everybody that I know has met Verity. She is one of the most sweetest people. She is like Daria. They are very grateful and appreciative. And again, the best way to see that maybe one day we can actually get a televised multiple events is by supporting the women too. Not only the PBA, but supporting the women as well. Just my thoughts.
And not to get off into that, not even foreshadowing, but there may be something else outside of DGAB that could be helping with that too, perhaps.
Mm.
We'll stay elusive, but
I just wanted to give my take on that. So
I agree. Do you have anything before I start running my yap? Good man.
Yes.
The general.
I'm going to take the villain arc on this and make it short and sweet. I think Verity handled the situation very well, very diplomatically.
I agree.
But how I felt about that fan was not everything's about you. That moment's not about you. She's doing her job. She's trying to stay locked in. The entitlement of that moment, it bothered me so much because there was a difference between being grateful for your fans and the fan understanding that the celebrity, I guess we'll say celebrity, is grateful for you with also understanding that they don't owe you a damn thing, honestly.
You said damn.
Sorry, yes, that was
Yeah.
unintentional.
Good job. Was
So I was more on the lines of, oh, I mean, she gave you a nod the first time, and it reminded me of the episode of Family Guy where Peter's in the back of the class to the Today Show or something. He's like going, Katie, while she's Katie. It's like,
Love it.
let the girl do her thing, enjoy what she does, and leave it at that. She gave you a nod. I'm sorry she didn't stop her whole day to go over and shake your hand and all that stuff. That's all I had to say. I was maybe very angry.
I'd listen to that on repeat a few more times.
And then in the comments, everyone seems to agree. Rich Gang Bowling.
Oh, that's
Joe,
Richard.
Everyone's saying, common courtesy, bowling etiquette's important. Pickles. So it's like,
Well, the one phrase that I have for that, and to me it applies, I would always tell my dudes, anybody that I was in charge of, or my kids or anything like that, there's a season. Remember that song, There's a Season, Turn, right? Love the song, but it's true. There's a season. And just be aware of what season it is, or in tune with your environment, or just in tune with the freaking world around you. Both of these guys said it again. I don't need to repeat it, but it's the same thing. There's a time and a place. And if it's a professional athlete competing, but even if that reminded me of when you said, because he sent that in a text to us the other night and asked, hey, what do we think? We want to talk about it, right? And I agree with you. Like, I'm not a professional athlete anyway, but the first thought that went to my mind was back in the day in high school football. I remember because we'd finish the game Friday nights and then we would usually lose. And I'd be butthurt about it. Like, because I'm not I'm competitive in bowling, but I know my skill level, so I can't be that competitive, But with other things, and especially that type of stuff, I'm very competitive. I don't like to lose, and so I'm upset when I do. And I just want to have a pity party by myself because I can rock out on those. And I was walking across the street from the gym to our locker rooms and stuff over there, crossing the street, and a couple of, like, not my girlfriends, but friends that were chicks, they're like, hey, Dustin, and I just walked by, like, I'm still in my pads and everything, and I'm walking across, like, I don't want to talk to you right now. We just lost. Like, my dignity's on the field. You know what I mean? Like, and then, but mentally, I had already planned. It's like, I knew I was going to go in the locker room, shower, change. And then when I came back out, I would be in a frame of mind to be able to talk like, hey, sorry, wasn't ignoring you. Of course, they were gone. But that was my thing. I was going to be like, hey, sorry, I didn't. But I mean, we just lost. So I didn't want to say anything I wouldn't want to. What ignoring you? I was butthurt. So that was me. You know what I mean? So just, there's a season. Know what you're doing. And it's a freaking pro athlete competing for money.
They're people, not clowns in a circus, just jumping free when
For
you
you.
want them to.
Yeah.
I would also like to say this too. If my 4-year-old adopted niece has the whereabouts to know that a shirt represents her daddy and is that self-aware, you can be self-aware too and understand when and when not to mess with somebody when they're in the middle of something.
Would you do me a favor? Would you slide me your easy button?
That was easy.
Was it really though? Because apparently some of these people don't.
It's easy to
It's almost like
explain
they're
it.
allergic to easy.
It's easy to explain it
Okay.
for us I better stay somewhat politically correct. No, I was looking more towards the R word.
No.
Not the hard R at the end. It starts with an R.
We know which way you're going.
What do you mean? What word? Oh, that's such a good accent to it too. Oh, I can't wait till we're off air and I'm going to say it. I still got my F-bomb. Haven't you? I get one F-bomb a show.
I almost used it on my table.
I know. I know.
Hold on for a second.
I still would have said one anyway.
Fucking A.
It's fucking.
Me
Oh,
too.
I almost did the R one though. I got the return.
But you
Your
did.
screen froze. I didn't say it.
Yeah.
All right, but no, I agree. And I mean, I think it is pretty common because we're wrapping up. We're getting Tanya checking her clock behind.
No,
I know.
needs to be a timekeeper.
You're
I
correct.
apologize.
No, you're doing your job. So I mean, I agree, and I think that I loved your statement of. I think that Verdi. I always think of because I love Verde burritos. I love the green stuff and Mexican food. But no, I thought it was a very diplomatic answer. So as a fan with any sense, I would have felt pretty good about that. But if you think the show is all about you, probably would have been otherwise. But I mean, to me, it's pretty common sense, man.
Verity, I got your back. I said what you couldn't say, which was I get my fuck off. There's 3.
I could say the F-bomb, but I wanted to use the R word.
Luckily, on the YouTube settings, I said this wasn't for kids.
No, it's not. No, but let us know. Do you got any more thoughts or anything on that, Tanya? Also, just to let you guys know, this is kind of last call. The lights are coming on soon. We're going to talk about DGAB upcoming events, but if you have anything that you want to shoot in, let us know real quick. Tanya is still monitoring the boards. A few minutes left. We're going to go over, as I said, upcoming events, but just get anything in if you need to. Mikey.
Curtis is slippery.
Curtis is
out.
checking. The general's working. Mike, why don't you tell us about, I know you're very excited about this new one that's going on, the No Experience, No Prob. Tell us about that, man.
No experience, no problem. Basically, it's another to get bowlers into the tournament experience for average. We are doing a total of 5 average divisions. We have a 200 and above scratch division. Then we have 186 to 199, 170 to 185. Let's see, 149 and below, and 150 to 169. No, I did not do that in chronological order because I was having to think about the average divisions itself.
Good job.
But it is a handicap tournament, 90% of 200. We're running it for another 8 weeks on Thursday night here at 6:30. Just a $40 entry fee. I feel like 40 is a pretty good economy value. But we just want to get people in the tournament environment. I've actually, Tanya is hopefully going to bowl one squad in the next 8 weeks.
I should finally be able to bowl
I
next
have
Thursday if you
Yep.
can. I
Yeah.
will next Thursday because I have the
See?
soccer games up till now.
We can we'll go live for
That'd be
that,
great.
too.
I'm
That'd be
down.
fantastic.
George, journeyman,
Yep.
expect to see you there. Hopefully,
Because George,
I
you're
won't.
George, you're because
you better
George
be working.
you're trailing Damien right now, buddy.
Ooh. But I do love this. It took me. I know you explained. It's a very simple concept
Mhm.
that sometimes people have a hard time understanding, much like the token strike challenge at first.
Yeah.
Because I kind of when you first told me about it, I'm like, say that again. But it's and I know you have to explain it.
But you're consistent. That's okay.
I'm consistently slow. But no, there's 5 divisions. What?
I read her lips.
There's the. Was that agreement? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's.
R, not the R word.
You get to say what?
Let's not go overboard here. We've already dropped 3 F's.
Related. I'm related to Shane Gillis. How's that? I'm another day walker. No, but there's 5. Yeah, I was named after Dustin Hoffman. No, that's true. I was named after Dustin Hoffman. Yeah, great actor. But no, there's 5 divisions, so you're competing against people in your skill level.
Yes.
That's the main thing with this. You're not competing against the scratch and this and that. And it's handicap against your skill set.
Yep.
And that's
And you get your handicap.
yeah.
So, I mean, again, even if you got somebody that's a couple of pins above you in average, you still get your handicap to actually level it out.
No cap or anything?
No
There's
cap.
yeah, because
As
it's
the kids would
90%
say, no
200.
cap. Which definition are we using? Because I know no cap is really.
Every word has 5,000.
But is there no cap on the handicap?
Ooh,
No cap on the handicap.
no cap, y'all. Check
And
it out.
again, if you're at 200 and above, you're pulling scratch. So,
But
But-
you look at other scratch bowlers. at that point.
Right.
but I have ran this tournament concept before in the past. A lot of the stuff you're seeing, like Cash League, no experience, no problem. Just stuff like that is league ideas I was running back at Parkway. So these are the concepts because I want people to come in with the fact that you can bowl a tournament. I get it all the time in the shop. Oh, I'm not even good to bowl league. Had a couple come in today. They were going back and forth about bowling our Sunday night DGAB league, and they were like, "We want to do it. Are you sure we're good with it?" I said, "I got people that average less than 100, and I got people bowling in that average above 200. Is that wideness,
Yes.
that
Yeah.
variety, if you will?"
So it is something for everyone. There's
Yeah.
divisions of skill level for everyone.
Yeah.
Let's move on. I
Yes.
think we've covered that one
Mhm.
good. We got more sweepers coming up.
Yep.
I think we're doing some more tokens.
Mhm.
We'd mentioned this too. No solid dates for you yet, but I believe we are looking at starting up DGAB After Dark again.
We're working on it. Yes.
We're working on that because I think that kind of all helps our mental health itself, and that's kind of one of the things that was started for.
See, we could have we'll have 4 boxes
Yeah,
this time
yeah.
because Tanya's on board.
So we are working on that because I know a lot of people have asked me, if we're doing it again, this or that, and I enjoy that one.
Here's the thing with DGAB, with DGAB doing After Dark, the biggest thing we had is 11 o'clock at night. I think we are working more towards a 9 o'clock
Yes.
start time.
Yep.
Date will be mentioned again.
Yep.
You guys will see that on the stories out
Yep.
and what have you. But I mean, we're usually running an hour and a half, 2 hours on that.
Yep.
We all get our stuff in and everything, and we let y'all come in and conversate with us.
But I think we've all agreed that is one of the things that we're in the works of
Mhm.
bringing back.
And so another point with the sweepers, okay? Guess
Yes.
what? With the GMC and the MTP, which is also known as the
And the
DGA
HOST.
and along with the DGAB, we have changed the schedule up with the oil patterns.
What is happening?
I just did a rhyme or a rap or something.
Just FOLLO.
Fires of acronyms and stuff.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen, it is what it is. But the sweepers, though, we are going back to using some challenge patterns, some sport patterns, which I can tell you we're going to be incorporating the USBC Masters pattern from this year. If you guys saw the scores from qualifying earlier this year, that was very devious, which, yes.
I have a question that you should. I think it was a joke, but I don't know. There was a pattern the other day that you showed me.
Mhm.
Is that a real one?
Yes.
You know what I'm
The
talking
sword
about?
fight. Yes, that is an actual oil pattern.
Have you seen this?
No.
We will show you after.
You
No.
may have
It's not
seen it.
good. It's
You may have
exactly what
seen
you-
something like it in some editing, perhaps, if you know.
Listen, here's the deal. It's 40, guys. It's 48 feet long. It's actually considered a challenge pattern. So-
Is that more like 24 and 24 equals 48?
Yes.
That was funny.
Yeah.
That was good.
Great
Did you get that?
job. Yes, I got
Two of
that.
them 24,
Yeah,
24.
24 plus 24 is 48. Yeah, we get it.
That's long.
But yeah, we're incorporating some devious oil patterns
And about
because
39 boards wide. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
because here's the thing, okay? Back in like real time here, sometimes I have people go, "You're putting out too hard a pattern," and then I have some people go, "It's a strike fest, Michael." So it's like, you know what? I'm just going to put out a variety of everything,
Yeah,
and then you just come.
police.
Both. And another thing I want to give a shout out to is AJ Landis and Jeff Heath are starting up a new tournament
Yep, your call.
at Bowl Madison on Saturday, June 28th. It's the 6-game handicap sweeper. Go support those guys. They definitely care about bowling, especially here in North Alabama. One thing I like about it is tournament bowling's coming to North Huntsville.
Yep.
We're doing the damn thing.
Yep.
Yes, I said that.
Okay. We got to move to this
Yeah.
so we can close.
And again, so just go support them. Support tournament bowling.
Yay.
Absolutely. You can feel the excitement, Jim.
Alone, yay, in the background.
Because there's a tournament for everybody, y'all.
Reminded me of the ostrich in the sets of Back to Family Guy. Aha!
You did that so well.
Very well said, Michael. Thank you. And the last thing that we're going to close with, because we are going on 90 minutes. I like that length for our shows, I think.
Mhm.
So we'll try to stick to the 90, which we're coming up on. But as we told you before, we had Starrcade and WrestleMania. And we haven't really come up with the cool name for this one yet, though, I think. But our other big deal of the second half of the year
Oh,
that's coming up. Do you want to tell us about that?
that was actually a good name for it. It's called, we're working towards the DGAB Boot Camp. And, you know,
In your face.
just to basically in your face, as Dustin said.
Hey, I'm bringing the knife hands.
That this is the thing behind it, okay? If you want to improve on your bowling, you will do what is necessary to get better. And sometimes a lot of people just want to be handed things, but with this clinic, it's going to be all about earning it. And what kind of work are you going to put in? What kind of drills are you going to put in? Do you really want to get better, or do you just want everything handed to you on a silver platter? Because if you want everything handed to you on a silver platter, this ain't the clinic for you. We're going to really dive into spare shooting. I cannot stress enough. You can throw 6 or 7 strikes in a game and only shoot 200.
I can chime in on that for a second, can I? This is
Please
what
do.
we were talking about 300 games earlier and stuff. I had one, I've told you about this, but it was like a year or so ago. I didn't realize it until after my game. I threw 9 strikes in one game. 9 in one game. You know what my score was? 223.
And why was that, Dustin?
Run, tell dad.
I would.
Why?
I feel like I've said enough.
No, I mean, like, what,
I forget exactly. I still have a picture of it, but I was just blown away in my mind. I think that there wasn't open, but I mean, I only had maybe one. It was, I forget where they were, but I shanked something, you know what I mean? But still had a couple spares. It wasn't like I had 9 strikes and 3 opens. I maybe had 1 open in that, but I looked at it like I had 9 strikes in that game, and I finished with a 223.
Not to derail, but I hadn't heard someone say "run and tell that" in so long. I was like, where did that come from?
Did that come out of my mouth?
Yes,
I
you
say it
did.
a lot. I never hear what I say. I don't know.
Was that me?
Yeah.
but again,
I hated to derail from that because I loved what you were saying, and we were dicking around before, so I didn't mean to distract you. But I'm very proud of what you just said. I like that.
I'm just saying.
That's the kind of stuff that
Again, and that's another thing I want to tell everybody, especially on TikTok. Consider becoming a subscriber, and you can get exclusive access to the clinic for just $2.99 a month. You'll have free access for being a subscriber to the entire day of the clinic.
few other things too. A few other benefits to being a subscriber on TikTok. And also, if you haven't, please move over to YouTube and give us a follow there. Because we're trying to build that as a secondary, just in case something happens with the old rickety TikTok. You know what I mean? So we are trying to build that there for you guys also. But yeah, this man, you have now, correct me anytime, but subscribing to you on TikTok, like they can message you directly and get feedback from you as a coach.
Yeah, I'll give them my email. They can send me a video, and I'll give them tips and everything for also being a subscriber.
I don't do your intro as a pillar of knowledge for no reason. It is fun to say, but you guys definitely know me well enough. If you've heard me talk on anything, you probably know me well enough. I'm not going to say something for no reason. And that's true. You have no idea what a wealth of knowledge you have sitting right here. I thought I knew a little bit about bowling, right? When I came here, even when you dumb things down, how many times do I have to tell them, Michael, dumb it down more? And I've learned how much I don't know. Now I don't know shit about bowling.
I was shocked at how much I learned from the education.
Oh my gosh.
Just filming it with you guys. I was like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Cover stock? What's that?
We talked for 30 minutes about accessories. Easy. It felt like 10 minutes.
I had good customer story, if I may share it with
Please.
everybody. Lady came in from Arizona. She just moved here from Arizona. Scientific engineer. I was telling her, I was using words like the physics and the science behind it. She goes, "Oh, are you an engineer?" I said, "Nope, I've just been doing this for almost 20 years."
But you are kind of a bowling engineer, an engineer of bowling. And we're in Huntsville. What if you're the engineer?
I see a lot of lines and numbers and stuff
Yeah.
that are in there.
You like using all those big fancy words anyway.
I do, but
The coin axis and rotation.
but that's exactly what helps me get to the ball motion you desire.
Your desire, right
But
here.
here's the thing, though. Okay, like I said, the DGAB boot camp. I'm telling you right now, we're going to work on drills. We're going to work on spare shooting. We're even going to incorporate you having to roll a strike from every arrow, starting from
Ooh, I like that.
starting from the first arrow and working your way to the second, working your way to the third. And if you don't hit it, you're not moving until you do.
If you don't hit it, you can't quit it.
Yeah.
What?
You can't quit throwing.
It made sense. Yeah, it made sense.
Yeah.
So, but no, just like, again, it's just one step. This is in the infancy stage, if you will. But you guys will start seeing more and more stuff leading up to it. If you're local and you want to do the clinic in person, it's going to cost $75. That will include the clinic. That's the on lane. And I've got the GMC in my back pocket because he's my friend.
Real friendly around here.
Mhm.
You got a friend in me. Literally, you guys are disgusting. I'm just kidding. I couldn't.
That was easy.
Could not. It was not easy to resist, and I'm a weak man. But I did, on a serious note, so we can finish this out before it just goes off the rails totally.
I have a little bit of comedy value, despite what people may think. Okay.
On a real note, though, the clinic. I love everything you said about the clinic, and I think that that's a great natural evolution. Now that I think about it, because I think you were even in and out for the clinic last time.
Yeah.
And
I hate you all.
I couldn't. I'm sorry. I'm trying.
I'm here.
It's a gift and a curse. But we're doing good. We've got this. The clinic was
That was easy.
fabulous last time. Not being serious again. We had the people here for the clinic. It was subscriber only, and it went fantastic. And I think we talked before because you put some of the motivational things in and stressed on mindset a lot. I think kind of like get the mind right, and that the rest really follows, because that was a big emphasis.
Mhm.
So I didn't even really put it together until now, but this is such a great natural evolution of the clinic, I think, because of the people that come to it, they're down for that. You know what I mean? So I don't think you're gonna have people show up for willy-nilly stuff. They're gonna come to you for that, and that's gonna be provided. So I love the direction of this next clinic.
Mhm. And it's just like, again, everybody knows like where my roots come from with some of these clinics. I've been told that I'm a very good motivator, a leader. I mean, I've got that from my own teammates, which I really do appreciate that. Leadership was never a strong suit of mine growing up. I was more the follower, just do what I'm told, be a good soldier.
Yep.
I'm using that as a analogy. Of course, I'm full of them, but it's just like you got to take ownership of some stuff. And the biggest thing about it is you got to take your accountability. Like, how bad do you want to get better? How bad do you want to achieve those bowling goals? And this is just a stepping stone to that. And like I said, you got to be accountable for your actions. You got to be able to look at yourself in the mirror every day and say, I'm the problem. I have to work on getting better.
You said one of those big words there, accountability. That could be its own full episode. So I feel like we should have that pop up somewhere in some more talking points, whether it's AD or this again or whatever, or even if your next live you want to do that. I think that's a great.
We may even
talking point,
incorporate
so-
that in the After Dark.
Yeah, I think that would be a great fit for it.
Mm-hmm.
Tanya, we got any closing calls on there? Anything like that? And then we will bring a wrap.
Well, Rich King Bowling and Pickles have been engaging with us quite a bit.
All right.
I think Rich is considering coming up. It's a 7-hour drive for him.
Mm.
And Pickles mentioned that we have different type of F-bombs. But other than that,
I've seen a really cool F bomb that's a bottle opener in the shape of a bomb with an F. I have seen all types of F bombs. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've never said that on the show, so I was like, well, that's the first time for
Did I drop mine yet?
Oh yeah, we all three did.
I did say mine.
Yeah, we all three did.
yeah, it was
We
like-
went way overboard our limit.
I
So
just said
we
mine
just
because you both got one. Like, I want one too.
so we're in between PG-13 and rated R right now.
I like it.
So no, nothing else from the comments.
Well, thank you, everybody. Do you remember? Not yet. I'm going to do this part. Then do you remember the good closeout for us that you can do?
I'll slap
I
them
like
together.
all right. What are we slapping? As soon as it go off air. All right. Be serious. You're a bad influence, Tanya.
I know, I'm not.
No, I'm just kidding. We are very thankful. Once again, congratulations, Mr. General Manager.
Thank you very much.
Very happy to see that. Congratulations, Mr. Stady. Very proud of you guys. Congratulations and thank you for becoming part of the team, our new executive liaison. And thank you, everybody out there that's hung out with us in any shape, form, or fashion. That's I don't care if you just joined one of these lives for a minute and you're here. Thank you, and to everybody else that we've thanked before, all the sponsors, the love, the everything that we get. Chase, that's the sweetest I've ever heard Chase be in my life.
I know, right?
So I mean, that stuff means a lot. We want you. I feel confident I can speak for everybody that it's not just words. That means a lot to us, and we appreciate it because that's what we're looking for. It's a good product for bowlers, the bowling community, and that was cool. How many times people were telling us and you and the DGAB stuff. It's like, thank you for what you do for the bowling community. And my first thought is always kind of like, well, thank you for accepting what we do. You know what I mean? So it's certainly, we don't look at this as like a rider privilege or anything like that. We're wanting to do this to be a good product for you. So I'm just appreciative that it's accepted, if that makes sense. So humbling, and it's an honor. So I think we all feel that way. With that, Curtis, you want to let them know what we ask of them?
Yes, but also
that last thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
it's fun. I think this is like the first time I've actually like done like a full.
I think so.
one without like just sitting here.
Yeah. Normally he tries to run away. We actually had to tie his feet to the chair, and that's how we kept him here. But no, it was great having you over on this side of the camera with this, man. So good job and
I
thanks.
can see myself doing more of this.
You should. You totally should.
But,
You're not that bad at it as you might think.
with that said, you guys, we got a lot of stuff coming up. And if you guys want to keep up with us, please like, subscribe, and share with us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. And I left YouTube for last because we are really trying to build up YouTube. So we got 3,000 plus followers on TikTok. If half of y'all could go over to YouTube and subscribe, that would be great.
Even as a safe backup.
That'd be fantastic.
Thanks. And then until next time, we will see you.
It's we'll catch you
We'll catch you.
on the flippity flip.
Freaking idiot. Bye, guys.